Sunshine Broccoli, it is good to talk to you folks, especially today because today is Halloween. Ooh, scary
Ooh.
stuff. Before we talk about what we're going to talk about, I'm going to ask you both what were your favorite Halloween moments growing up? Did you have a favorite costume or a favorite candy that you liked or a moment that happened?
My favorite costume was Ghostbusters. I was Ghostbusters, and my other friend was Slimer and the Stay-Puft Marshmallow Man. And it was the best experience. We had such a fun time. And I got a lot of candy because of that costume. So I think it really worked out really
I,
well.
I wanted to see who Slimer was. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Sunshine, what about yourself?
I think for me growing up, being in the area, we just had so many friends. We would all go trick or treating together. My costumes were like a little bit lame. I'm not gonna lie. They were like a lot of DIYs, but we all went together. I remember one year we were all baseball girls, so we put like all the. But it was fun. It was a community. Everybody in the neighborhood, and you knew everybody because you went to school with them. So that was a lot of fun.
And you know what? That's a good safety tip. And that's what we're going to talk about right now are family Halloween safety tips for the kids to remember before they go out trick or treating. So, Sunshine, I'm going to start with you. What are some of the things that we should, do even before we leave? Like, are there things we should be checking the kids' costumes or anything we should be adding to it? Like, what are some of the things that we should be worrying about even before we leave?
Absolutely, guys. Safety first. As a mom of two, it is very important for me to put the labels of my kids' names, our address, and our phone number tucked away somewhere in the costume. So, just a safety precaution, just something really good to think about, just in case somebody runs off and somebody finds them.
Okay, so important with that. Broccoli, what is a tip that you can think about, like, whether it be for costumes or anything like that?
One thing is like have kids maybe carry glow sticks or flashlights to help them see, at night and to always make eye contact with drivers just in case if you're wearing masks so nothing's obstructed or anything. And save some candy for your siblings. That might be a good thing to do too. Don't eat all of your chocolate at once. And also make sure if anything's unwrapped, don't eat it, and get your parents to check your candy before you eat it.
That is so important. That one was like drilled into my head as a kid. You could get the candy, but you weren't allowed to open or touch any of it until your parents dumped it over on the table, went through it, and then let you know which ones you can have or you can't have. Sunshine, what are some other tips that you can think of for kids, for families going out there for Halloween? One thing that you did mention when you said earlier was about the neighborhood. You were in a familiar neighborhood. Can you talk maybe even a little bit about that too, or anything else you want to add to it?
Yes, for sure. I think one thing is we know that this weather is never predictable in our beautiful city. So I want to say, let's not ruin if it's raining, that's okay. We got to just be equipped. So let's put our kids in lots of layers. Let's make it as enjoyable for them. Whether if it's raining, we'll have an umbrella. Maybe we can add that to the costume. But also, what's very important is numbers. Go with a group of people. If you're 10 and under, definitely be accompanied by a parent or a guardian or somebody who's older than you. But safety first, guys. That is the most important.
Broccoli, I want to add to something that Sunshine just said and what you said earlier about the glow sticks and things like that. And the other thing I always learned too was two things, and agree or disagree, or I'd love to hear your comments on it. Number one, kids can get excited holding hands and running across the street, like not watching the lights. Talk a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, you just have to take these safety precautions quite seriously. I mean, it can get exciting. You're dressed up, Halloween's happening, and you're with your friend. Hold your hand, but always look both ways and take it slow because there's a lot of action happening. There are a lot of ghouls and ghosts, and there's a lot of things to look at. So there can be many distractions. So make sure that the least distractions as possible. Put your phones down. Don't look at your phones. Look at your friends. You're there to enjoy the outdoors and just have the safest and best time as you possibly can.
And I want to add that to the drivers too. Drivers, be very careful at that time period because the trick or treaters are going to be definitely out there. So, drive with a little bit of caution. That's always important. Sunshine, before we wrap up these safety tips too, I'm going to ask you, and then Broccoli, I'm going to ask you because we did talk about trick or treating, Halloween candy, and stuff like that. Number one, what do you think it is the best container or bag to use for trick or treating? What was your favorite? And two, what was your favorite Halloween candy?
Ooh, this is a good one. I bought my sons actually a personalized pumpkin that they can carry. So hopefully they'll be able. It's a plastic one, don't worry. Hopefully they'll have it for years to come, and it has their name on it. So that's super exciting. Candy wise, Rudy, I can't pick one. I was that kid who stayed up all night eating all the candy. So yeah.
Duff said that means your kids are going to have to hide their candy because mommy may eat them all out
No kidding.
before dawn. Broccoli, what would you say is the best container maybe to use for carrying your Halloween candy? And what was your favorite Halloween candy?
So, well, what container I used to use, my parents gave me a garbage bag because I could fill it with that much more candy. And it
That was
never
me.
that was you too? Yeah. So it was quite when I came home, I had a huge, massive pile of candy to choose from. And the candy that I would eat first right away were Kit Kats. Those little Kit Kats, I'm sorry, but that rub, 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 rub. And coffee crisp.
I think I have asked so many celebrities about this. Almost everybody, I would say if I did a survey, 85% to 90%, it's the Kit Kat. Those little bars seem to be the best thing to eat. And it sounds like there's going to be a lot more of that being chowed down this year. Folks, thank you so much for the Halloween safety tips. I hope your families have a great Halloween too. Thank you again, guys, and all the best. And happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.